Did you know that the most dangerous stage of abuse often goes unnoticed until it is too late? Let's dive into this shocking reality. Abuse doesn't just happen overnight. It's a gradual process, a creeping shadow that can trap someone before they even realize they're in danger. Imagine someone you care about, or maybe even yourself, caught in a cycle where the warning signs are dismissed as just a bad day, or they didn't eat to mean it. The truth is, abuse follows a predictable pattern, and one stage in particular is so deceptive, so insidious, that it can lead to devastating consequences if ignored. By the time most people recognize the danger, it's often too late to escape without significant harm, emotional, physical, or even worse. In this video, we're going to break down the 5 stages of abuse, shining a light on the one that experts agree is the most dangerous. You'll learn how to spot the signs, understand the risks, and most importantly, protect yourself or someone you love. Stick with us, because this could be the knowledge that changes everything. Let's get started. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we're diving deep into a topic that affects millions worldwide: the critical stages of abuse. Abuse isn't always loud or obvious. It can be subtle, manipulative, and hidden in plain sight. Understanding its stages is key to recognizing when someone is at risk, whether it's you, a friend, or a family member. Today, we'll explore the 5 stages of abuse, breaking down how they unfold and pinpointing the one stage that poses the highest risk to victims. This isn't just about raising awareness. It's about equipping you with the knowledge to spot danger before it escalates. Whether you're here to learn for yourself or to help someone else, this video will give you the tools to understand the patterns of abuse and take action. So, let us dive into the journey of uncovering these stages and why one of them is a turning point that can't be ignored. Ready? Let's go. The problem with abuse is that it's often shrouded in secrecy and denial. Many people, victims, friends, or even family, miss the subtle signs of escalating abuse, making it nearly impossible to intervene when danger is at its peak. Abuse doesn't start with a dramatic explosion. It begins quietly, almost innocently, blending into everyday interactions. This is what makes it so hard to detect early on. Victims may feel confused, questioning whether what they're experiencing is even abuse at all. Society often reinforces this doubt with phrases like, "they were just stressed," or "it is not that bad." But the reality is far more sinister. Abuse follows a cycle, and each stage builds on the last, tightening its grip on the victim. The first stage, often called the honeymoon or idealization phase, is where the abuser presents themselves as charming, attentive, and loving. This is the trap. The victim feels valued and secure, unaware that this behavior is a setup. As the relationship deepens, the second stage, tension building, creeps in. Small criticisms, passive-aggressive comments, or controlling behaviors emerge. The victim might sense unease, but dismiss it, hoping things will return to the good times. By the time the third stage hits, the situation has escalated into something far more dangerous, but we'll get to that later. The fourth stage involves reconciliation, where the abuser may apologize or make promises to change, pulling the victim back in. Finally, the fifth stage is a return to calm, but it's temporary, looping back to tension and escalating all over again. The challenge is that most people don't recognize these stages until they re-deep in the cycle. Victims may feel isolated, ashamed, or convinced they're to blame. Friends and family might not see the full picture, only catching glimpses of the abuser's charming side. This lack of awareness is what makes the third stage so deadly. It is the point where the abuse peaks, often catching everyone off guard. Without understanding these stages, it's easy to miss the moment when intervention is most critical. Education is our strongest weapon, and that's why we're breaking this down today. Let's unpack the 5 stages of abuse in detail, exploring how they manifest and the psychological toll they take on victims. This deep dive will help you understand the nuances and recognize the patterns before they spiral out of control. Stage 1. Idealization. This is where it all begins. The abuser is on their best behavior. Think love bombing, grand gestures, and constant attention. They make the victim feel like they're the center of the universe. Compliments are endless, and the relationship feels like a fairy tale. Psychologically, this creates a powerful bond, as the victim becomes emotionally invested. For example, an abuser might shower their partner with gifts or declarations of love, building trust and dependency. The victim, unaware of the manipulation, feels safe and valued. This stage is critical because it sets the foundation for control. Stage 2. Tension building. Slowly, the mask starts to slip. The abuser's behavior shifts to subtle criticisms, jealousy, or controlling actions. They might question the victim's choices, monitor their whereabouts, or make snide remarks disguised as jokes. The victim feels the shift, but often rationalizes it. They're just having a bad day, they might think. The psychological impact here is anxiety and self-doubt. The victim starts walking on eggshells, trying to avoid conflict. For instance, an abuser might demand constant updates on the victim's location, or criticize their appearance, planting seeds of insecurity. This stage is where the power dynamic begins to tilt. Stage 3. Incident. This is the most dangerous stage, and we'll explore why in the next section. For now, know that this is where the abuse peaks. Verbal, emotional, or physical abuse erupts, often shocking the victim. The abuser may yell, threaten, or, in severe cases, resort to violence. The victim is left reeling, confused, and scared. Psychologically, this stage shatters their sense of safety, leaving them feeling trapped and powerless. An example might be an abuser destroying property in a rage or physically harming the victim, making them fear for their life. Stage 4. Reconciliation. After the explosion, the abuser often backtracks. They may cry, apologize, or promise to change. This pulls the victim back in, reigniting hope that things can improve. Gifts, affection, or heartfelt apologies are common. Psychologically, this creates a trauma bond, making it harder for the victim to leave. For example, the abuser might take the victim on a romantic getaway, convincing them the worst is over. This stage manipulates the victim's emotions, keeping them in the cycle. Stage 5. Calm. The relationship stabilizes temporarily, resembling the honeymoon phase, but with an undercurrent of tension. The victim clings to this calm, hoping it's permanent, but the cycle soon restarts. This stage reinforces the false belief that the abuse was a one-off. Psychologically, it deepens the victim's confusion and dependency. Each stage chips away at the victim's self-esteem, making it harder to break free. Understanding these patterns is the first step to empowerment. Now let's reveal the most dangerous stage of abuse. Stage 3. The incident or explosion phase. Why is this the turning point? Because this is where the abuse becomes undeniable, often escalating to physical violence, extreme emotional manipulation, or life-threatening behavior. It's the moment when the abuser's true nature is exposed, and the victim's safety is at its greatest risk. In this stage, the tension that's been building erupts. Verbal abuse might turn into screaming matches or humiliating tirades. Emotional abuse could involve gaslighting so severe that the victim questions their reality. Physical abuse, if it hasn't happened before, often emerges here. An abuser might push, slap, or worse. For example, a partner who's been controlling might suddenly destroy the victim's phone in a fit of rage or threaten them with a weapon. The psychological impact is catastrophic. Fear, shame, and helplessness overwhelm the victim. They may feel like they're living with a stranger. Why is this stage so dangerous? First, it's unpredictable. The victim, conditioned by the earlier stages, may not see it coming. Second, it's where the risk of serious harm or even fatality spikes. Studies show that the likelihood of severe injury or death is highest when the abuser feels they losing control, which often happens in this stage. Third, the victim is often too deep in the cycle to seek help, fearing stigma or retaliation. For instance, a victim might hide bruises or make excuses to protect the abuser, believing they can fix the situation. This stage is also critical for support systems. Friends, family, or coworkers might notice changes, missed events, withdrawal, or visible injuries, but may not know how to intervene. Recognizing stage 3 is vital because it's the moment when action can save a life. Encouraging the victim to seek help, offering a safe space, or contacting authorities can make all the difference. However, it's equally important to approach with care, as the abuser may retaliate if they sense interference. The tragedy is that many victims don't escape during this stage. The trauma bond, fear of judgment, or financial dependency keeps them trapped. That's why awareness is crucial. If you or someone you know is in this stage, it's not too late, but it's urgent. Resources like hotlines, shelters, or trusted confidants can provide a lifeline. To wrap up, we've explored the 5 stages of abuse: idealization, tension building, incident explosion, reconciliation, and calm. Each stage builds on the last, creating a cycle that's hard to escape. Stage 3, the incident phase, stands out as the most dangerous, where the risk of harm peaks and the victim's safety hangs in the balance. Understanding these stages empowers us to recognize abuse early, intervene effectively, and support those in need. Awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle. By sharing this knowledge, we can help victims reclaim their power and safety. Thank you for watching, and let's keep this conversation going. If you found this video informative, don't stop here. Check out our next video on recognizing the early signs of abuse to deepen your understanding and protect those you care about. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with your insights or experiences, and let's build a supportive community. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Together, we can raise awareness and make a difference. For more resources, check the description for links to hotlines and support organizations. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.